Have you ever wanted to build Xinyan? No? Well, too bad, because I'm gonna tell you how to build her to the best of my ability. As a DPS of sorts. And of course, I'll leave a few support suggestions, but let's get right in to the video. Guide. They both work. Now, when you think of building a character, what is the first thing you think of? Exactly, it's teams. You said that right. Right? Right? Alright, let's go over a DPS team and what I'm running for my team. So first, of course, we've got Xinyan. Because this is a Xinyan guide. If you don't have Xinyan, I don't know why you're here, but welcome, welcome. Now the reason I'm running this team is because if you want to build Xinyan as a DPS, the most optimal way is a physical DPS. And as we've got here, we've got Electro and Cryo, which when they interact, creates Superconduct, which decreases the enemy's physical resistance. And to top that off, Xinyan has a lot of stuff in her kit that also reduces enemies' physical resistance and increases her physical damage. So this is the best physical team I can think of. I think an alternate one would be using Mika, who buffs physical damage, or Shenhe, who increases physical damage, but I'm building them both as DPSs, hence why they are not on this team. Before we continue, good teams for Xinyan to be a part of where she's being a support would be in place of any shielder, like Layla for instance, and mainly running her on melt teams, vaporized teams, and very nichely on burning teams, as her pyro application isn't the best, but it can still work. A main example for those teams for burning would be Kinich, Xiangling, another Dendro character like Yao Yao, and then Xinyan. For vaporize, any Hydra DPS you can think of, mixed in with, of course, maybe another Hydra off-field applicator, Xinyan, and another either pyro or buffer of sorts. Melt would pretty much be the same. Any cryo DPS you can think of, cryo support, then Xinyan is melt plus shield, and etc, etc. Now let's go over her talents. As a DPS, because she mainly revolves around physical damage, her normal attack and her burst are equal to what you want to level up, because of course her normal attack does base physical damage equal to her attack, and her burst has a single instance of a high physical damage impact, and then her skill isn't really needed, but you can also level that up if you think you need a little more protection, which isn't the worst. And for a support build, basically just scrap those two that I just said, throw them out the window, and just level up the shield. Speaking of Xinyan's shield, a good thing to note, it has 3 levels. As seen here, level 1, level 2, level 3. It absorbs more, but its level 3 has off-field pyro application. It's not the best, but it's something. And the requirements to get these shields is just pressing your skill, you'll get level 1. If you hit 2 enemies with her skill, you'll get level 2, and if you hit 3 enemies, you'll get a level 3 shield. But with the first ascension passive, those get reduced down by 1 enemy. So level 2, you only need to hit 1. Level 3, you only need to hit 2. And her second passive also revolves around her shield, being that anyone under the effect of her shield gets their physical damage increased by 15. And of course she has a cooking passive. But before we continue on to weapons and artifacts and such like that, I need to explain Xinyan's shield, because it is incredibly buggy. And I mean really buggy. But before we continue, I will show you how to tell the difference between tier 1s, 2 and 3 shields. Firstly, just pressing E. You can see this will be a level 1 shield. But take note to the audio riff thing that is ringing around her shield, how it's all small and thin. And at her level 2 shield, you can see that the audio riff is bigger, and you can see these slight little waves going around the shield. This indicates you have level 2. And then her level 3 shield, of course, it pulses and does off-field pyro application for, I believe, 6 times? Yes, 6 instances of pyro damage that scale off her attack. So a shield that absorbs based off her defense and damage that scales off her attack. Very nice. But before I continue any further, I just want to point out a few things about her shield and its hit requirements, and the second passive that reduces count for level 3 and 2. It is very buggy, so as you can see, I'm just going to show you straight. Supposed to be level 3, so I'm going to try to hit 3 here to say, oh yeah. Okay, let's get these guys closer. So, I hit 3. I, for some reason, have a level 1 shield. Xinyan's shield is probably the buggiest in the game, and it has been, I think, since she released. Now, if I just get away from these guys. But now, for some reason, that I've hit the 3 enemies and activated it again, I now have the level 3 shield. This goes for anything, really. So if you hit 2 enemies trying to get the level 2 shield, it will only give you the level 1 shield until you activate your shield again, which then it will be level 2. And just to let you know, the passive still does work, but it still just has that buggy thing of hitting 2 enemies, it being a level 1 shield, and then using your shield again, and then it being level 3. Same with the level 2. You hit 1, it's a level 1, then you just use it randomly, and now it's a level 2. But that is pretty much what sums up her bugginess, I guess. And now let's move on to looking at her constellations. And as we can see her, C1, Fatal Acceleration. When you score a crit hit, her attack speed of her normal and charge attack is increased by 12 seconds, and it lasts for 5, and has a cooldown of 5, so it's basically 100% uptime, technically, if you can crit every single time after those 5 seconds. And her C2, Impromptu Opening. The physical damage from her burst has a 100% crit rate increase, and will also cast a level 3 shield. Yes, this does actually cast a level 3 shield and is not buggy. Her C3, Double Stop, increases her skills level by 3 levels. Her C4, Wildfire Rhythm. Any enemies hit by her skill decreases their physical resistance by 15%. Her C5, Screaming for an Encore, increases her burst level by 3 levels. Her C6, Rockin' in a Flaming World. It decreases the stamina consumption of her charge attack by 30%, and additionally her charge attacks gain an attack bonus equal to 50% of her defense. Now, all of these constellations are basically just helping Xinyan herself, except her C4, which decreases the enemy's physical res when hitting them with her skill, which is why I think C4 is her best constellation for being a support. Then if we look at DPS Xinyan, all of them are actually really good, except I'd say maybe Rockin' in a Flaming World and Double Stop are probably the 2 least useful for a DPS Xinyan. So to reiterate, if you're going for a support Xinyan, C4 is good. If you're going for a DPS Xinyan, basically all of her constellations are really good, but C6 and C3 aren't that good. They're still useful, but they're not good because charge attacks, I don't really think anyone would really use them, but if you do, good for you. Moving on to weapons. If you're going for a support Xinyan, I would recommend Sacrificial Greatsword, as for the energy recharge and the chance to reset your elemental skill cooldown. I would also recommend White Blind for the defense increase. As per usual, Favonius, great weapon. It's probably Favonius line is probably one of the better weapon lines in the game. And of course, Skyward's Pride, again, energy recharge. Now, if you're going for a DPS Xinyan, good ones would be Ito's Redhorn Stone Thresher, as it has a crit damage main stat and then increases defense in its little subscript. Another good one would be Snow Tomb Star Silver, which is a free craftable weapon, but no, you have to do some mission in Dragonspine to get the recipe. Also, Eula's Song of the Broken Pines, I believe it's called, also is good as it increases physical damage bonus. But personally, I would just recommend Snow Tomb Star Silver, and also Prototype Archaic is also good if you don't want to go through all that struggle of going in Dragonspine. Just trust me, I understand. And I think this is just my opinion, but I believe Mavwika's weapon is also good for any DPS Claymore user. But it is on Mavwika, so I am not putting it on her. So I'm sticking with Snow Tomb Star Silver. Speaking of doing damage, I need to level this up. Level 80, more damage. Artifacts. This is where it gets interesting. For support, I will do first. Right here, Tenacity of the Millilith. Its 2-piece isn't very helpful, but what you want to look at is its 4-piece, as when the user hits an enemy or enemies with their elemental skill, all party members' attack is increased by 20%, and the shield strength of that character is increased by 30%. And it can trigger when the equipping character is not on field, which is where the level 3 shield comes in, as that counts as elemental skill damage. And of course, you will be looking for defense, 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 with substats ranging from defense, attack, ER. EM is also good, and then also energy recharge. Did I already say that? Too bad I said it twice. Another support artifact piece would be Noblesse Obliged, as its 2-piece increases the user's elemental burst damage by 20%, and then its 4-piece, when the user uses their elemental burst, increases all party members' attack by 20. And again, it would be defense, 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 but maybe ER because you're relying more on her burst as well. Now, this one is a little niche, but I think it would be good. Would be 2-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams, which increases defense by 30%, which that would increase Xinyan's overall shield strength, and also a 2-piece Gladiators or equivalent that gives an attack percent bonus to just slightly increase the attack damage of her shield's pyro application, and of course her burst in between rotations. And again, it would be defense, 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 or energy recharge. But those aren't what you're here for. You're here for a DPS Xinyan. I personally would recommend two pieces that increase physical damage, which that is only 2-piece Pale Flame and 2-piece Bloodstained, as they both increase physical damage bonus. But I could also recommend a 2-piece physical or a 2-piece attack percent. That would also work. And of course, for DPS, it would be attack, physical damage, crit damage. I would recommend crit damage over crit rate, but if you just want to use normal attacks, crit rate if you need it. But because I'm building her as I'm trying to nuke with the elemental burst physical damage, which has 100% crit rate because I have a C2, so I'm just going to stack that with attack, physical, and crit damage. And for substats would be attack, crit rate, crit damage, probably ER. I personally would not recommend building her as a pyro DPS, as her pyro application DPS wise isn't the best. Moving on to actually building my Xinyan. I pre-farmed all of her stuff. I'm actually doing that now because I'm using my brain. Never mind, I can only make 4 of the chunks anyway. Yeah! Level 90 Xinyan, there we go. Level 80 weapon. Talents, I will be doing 868. I'm here to figure out if I have enough. Oh well, if my passives can give me enough. Don't know if that will be enough, unfortunately. There we go. That is painful to see. Holy. And the shield is still a high level because of C3. Oh yeah, but artifact domain. What do I have the least of for Xinyan? Cat Sorry, cat break. Okay, back to the video. Ah, that's it. I want to say Royal Guard. Ready, watch this. Yeah, damage. Do you know, I know that was mediocre damage, but I know this is a Xinyan video, but decent feather head flower, but they're not on set. I just threw these on. Unleveled sands, bad goblet, very bad circlet. And these ones, this one is good, but I unfortunately don't have EM. I need the EM. Give me the EM. Also, I was debating recording my pulls for Nefer, but I decided against it. Crit damage with horrible stats. Let's go. Let's go test our damage on the guy. He's actually really close. He's over that hill. First, I'm just going to test how much physical damage it hits now, and then I'll do like all of the buffs and stuff. Okay, physical damage. 4,000. Let's go. Now I have a tier 3 shield. Okay, and now we're going to try to get all of the buffs up. Here. Bap. Up. Apply tenacity. Decreases fizz. 9k. Yeah. That was our lovely Xinyan build. I hope you liked that 9k damage. I will continue farming for her within the week, and I will get back to you next Wednesday, because that is when I record these. But see you guys in a week. Ta-ta. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the... Can you stop looking at the mint, please? Welcome to the last day of building Xinyan. I say that, but I did the building off camera because the video is longer than I thought it would be, so I just decided to get the artifacts out of the way, seeing as nothing really happens in the first place. But speaking of the artifacts, they have made me broke. 3,000 more to my name. But let me show you the stats. Again, we're not focusing on crit rate because we're going for that burst. But 193 crit damage, 129 ER, 1.8 attack, and 857 defense. But that doesn't really matter. She's running Snow Tomb Star Silver, artifacts 2-piece fizz, 2-piece for fizz, C3, and 898. Now, I need to talk about these rolls. Okay, so this is a decent flower. This one pissed me off because it avoided crit damage, but I have no other good bloodstain pieces that have crit damage. And then there's this thing. This thing somehow always went into crit damage. I kid you not. 5 times. I think that is my highest crit damage on a piece. Yeah. And I have a semi-decent goblet. Again, I didn't roll into damage once. And then the circlet is very mediocre. But I just want to point out that the crit damage circlet plus the crit damage subset on this equals 100. A bit over 100, but like, you get the point. That's insane. Imagine if my goblet and feather actually rolled some crit damage. I'd be over 200 on a Xinyan. Don't get up, don't get up, don't get up, don't get up. 46. That's kind of depressing.
皆さん、元気を出して去ってください。役割。いでよ、律令に従え。
67. Oh my god. Right. Right. Okay, well that was kinda more depressing than I thought it'd be. And a waste of Mora, quite literally. Being down to, oh yeah, 4K now, we've gone up. I don't know how I did that. But I might put a break on building characters for a while because of that, so I can get my Mora back up. Holy. But if you guys enjoyed that very high Xinyan damage, you know, the one that has a 545% damage bonus for the physical part, but yeah, who cares? But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one, whatever that is. Who knows? It might be Wua. Maybe. Peace out.